널 기다렸어.
Welcome back to the SSL Challenger matches here for Season 2 of 2016. We just finished game number 12 of 30 potential games, and already we're seeing some favorites come through. Classic doing well, but Trust 4-0.
Trust is 4-0. He has a better score than Classic. Classic dropping one game to Trust himself.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go into Gumiho versus Hurricane. So Gumiho will play yet another TVP, and it's Hurricane's rotation to hit our solo Terran.
Yeah, and Gumiho himself is 2-2. Well, Wolf, you appeared on camera without your glasses. How does that even work? I don't even understand this.
I forgot to put them back on. Because my vision is actually like not really the reason why I'm wearing them today. I can see close-up things. Far away is the issue, but I felt like it was weird. I wasn't consistent. Hurricane is 1-3, man, and he's going up against Gumiho now. Now, Gumiho himself is also 2-2, not having the night I expected from him, and he hasn't played against some of the tougher players yet. He hasn't played against Trust yet, has he? No, he has not. Oh no, he did. Okay, he lost to Trust. I was gonna say like he hasn't even played against Trust yet, man. I mean that's tough
another
player.
Loss. Yeah. So it looks like we're going to jump right into it right away. This is game number 13, Gumiho versus Hurricane.
On my back, lone survivor last. They got me in the sights. No surrender, no trigger, fingers go.
Welcome back to Dust Towers, the home map of every single person in this group. And the top right, the Terran player in red, it is Gumiho.
You didn't mention he was the only Terran in the group.
Yeah, I didn't say that this time.
Down in the bottom left in blue, his opponent is Hurricane. Well,
Gas first. This is like the build that Gumiho's been doing against every single Protoss.
He's definitely got his own way of looking at the game. He likes to be more aggressive early on. He's known for his Reaper play, which is why we saw, I think it was actually Trust who made a Zealot and canceled it, because it's like, well, I mean, with Gumiho, you never know. You probably want to have that Zealot just in case. All right, well, there's a cameo of the generic coach, but we got
there he is.
We got the generic coach, but we also got another Stork, so that's more dust we can use to craft potentially an Oov later on.
Yeah. But we do get that generic coach for the first time. Generic coach was the winner of the poker tournaments that happened at BlizzCon. He beat Mike Morheim in the heads-up match at the end.
Yep, it was his birthday a few days ago, and his team just won round 2. They did a nice Q&A.
Yeah, this guy is just successful all across the board, basically.
His player won BlizzCon.
Yeah, that it did. SOS. Not doing too well today, though. Unfortunately, SOS sitting at 1-3. Can make a comeback for sure. But
yeah, still possible. It's just
see.
going to be a tough one. Well, this is pretty normal. Gumiho's going to add a factory. We're going to see a Widowmine drop again. Hurricane. Let's see what he's going to do.
It's almost the same exact positioning on the buildings, too, from Gumiho.
Yeah, he hides it a little bit to the top. The add-on's going to complete this wall off. Look, just a second. It's going to be a reactor. Wait for it. Wait for that 50 minerals. Oh, we're never going to see it on the camera. Look at the production tab. Boom.
Boom. Just got off camera. So sad. Anyway, Roper. Reaper gets out here.
Roper. You might rope some probes in. Probably not. Just going to get a scout.
Reaper doesn't really do too much anymore, you know? It's just scout, safe unit. Kind of sad.
Kind of sad, yeah.
You used to get those 5-Rex Reaper fun times that everybody enjoyed.
Well,
sure.
Until Heart of the Swarm.
Ooh, gets a kill.
For those of you guys who were Wings of Liberty fans, which was the longest expansion. Oh, it goes down. That's ouch. Reapers were totally unplayed.
Oh, he cancels and changes his tech.
That's cool.
What was he making before? Stargate?
Probably. I actually was thinking about Wings of Liberty and nostalgia and how like sometimes we'd see Reapers in the late game, and the reason why was because people would accidentally misclick on their hotkeys and make a Reaper. I remember QXC was doing some Reaper mid-game to late-game TVP stuff where he was just running them in with speed upgrades and killing probe lines and dropping them out of medevacs. But only him. Reapers are pretty much useless after they got nerfed after the Maro Idra debacle at IEM. Anyways.
Yeah. Fun times in the history of StarCraft. It's kind of what you get when you have a game that's been running for this long. And, wow, it's a Cyclone. And he's making that because he saw the Stargate. He's trying to play it safe. He's trying to mix it up. You know, and he has made Cyclones in the past before, too.
He made 2 Cyclones last time, and it did not go too well for him overall.
And what we're seeing out of Hurricane is just an all-in with the depths. He's getting that Warp Prism. He's going to load up 4. He's going to try to get into the main and then just warp in like 7, 8 Adepts. And that's the play. If it gets in and it works, then he wins the game. If it doesn't, if it gets spotted, if the Cyclone takes out the Warp Prism, then we have a game on our hands.
It's the Glaive build. Very popular on this map. You can swing the Warp Prism around to the backside, warp in there, then lift up some of them and they hit the main again. You can use the Shades to jump between the bases. It's obviously really, really strong versus a Terran who's just about to drop his 3rd base because he's really split between 3 locations at that point. All right, here comes this Marine drop. There's no Widow Mines in this, just 7 Marines, but there's a Mothership Core in position. Instantly the overcharge. Gonna try to go out of range here, and he actually will.
There's another pylon, but it's behind the mineral line, and that's not going to be close enough to punish that. But here we go. Here's the warp in. There's 2 Cyclones.
Yeah, I don't know if this is actually going to work. Forcing a lift already. He's trying to dodge the Cyclone lock-ons with the Warp Prism, but it's just too much DPS. And he, actually brings SCBs off because he's like, oh my god, what if he warps in like 5 more? This is looking really bad for Hurricane.
Yeah, the Adept drop did not work. He did not get into position, in part because of the build of Gumiho, which is a nice one.
This drop is still in this base as well. Looks like Gumiho lost his Liberator. He was not actually controlling that. And this will be forced away. But already a huge lead for Gumiho in this game. The question is, what does Hurricane do next? He doesn't have a 3rd base. Doesn't have any tech besides Glaives. We see Blink on the way and a Forge, so he's just trying to fight his way into a safer 3rd base, I guess.
If he just locks on, he doesn't even have to. I mean, looks like he should be able to. That Warp Prism is trapped. He gets 1 Adept out. Will be able to... No, he's not even going to get another kill. So 2 SCVs for that trade. And, I mean, he had to do some damage. He's so far behind, and now he's just like, well, I guess I make a Nexus and hope that Gumiho can't do damage to me.
Gumiho's going to do the switcheroo here now after that Siege Tank, just to be safe against any type of all-in that comes his way. He can start Stim. Needs to really get on that, though. He has enough money to do it. The Stim is so behind. If he has that, if he grabs that early enough, I'd say, I don't want to say early because at this point we're at 6.5 minutes in. If he gets that up, then he could actually do a big attack to end the game. Finally, he starts it. We do see the Robotics Bay. I think this is going to be yet again for Colossi to try to combat this Marine-heavy style that Gumiho's been showing. This Viking is only for Warp Prism deterrence. It's not actually going to be the one Viking that deals with the Colossi. And let's see. My money's on Colossi. Warp Prism first. I'm not entirely sure why, but I guess to get harassment out, he's prioritizing that over the Colossus tech.
Yeah, I mean, there's a small possibility that he goes Disruptors and tries to win the game by some huge... Okay, there's actually a Colossus queued up here.
Yeah, so there's going to be those Colossi as we expected. There was the slight chance, of something kind of wonky.
It's like you go Disruptors and maybe you get the massive hit on the Marines when he's not looking, and then you get back in the game. But I would say like any Korean Terran at this point will be able to deal with that.
I feel like Disruptors, I mean, we've seen them even in PvP losing favor in Korea. I think in Asia, we're just seeing them kind of fall out of the meta entirely. They're just too easy to counterplay and too expensive to
they're so fragile too.
Yeah.
If they hard engage onto you and you're not ready, you just get punished so hard. Oh, free Viking. I'm not sure if he was expecting that, but nice little extra piece in there.
Literally doubling the army supply of Hurricane is Gumiho right now. He's just going to force this. There is a Warp Prism drop coming across the map, and there's nothing here to defend, actually, so this is going to force a big reaction. Oh, as I say that, there's a few Marines that come up. He's still going to force a big reaction. He's going to warp in more units.
And if he warps in here, he's not going to have much for the defense back at home. So he may do some damage here, and he does get about 10 SCV kills, but the attack is going on here at the front. Already siege tanks sieging up.
He needs that second Colossus. Maybe with that he can defend with this Shade. And Gumiho knows it's a bit risky to stick around. He only has 2 medevacs here. I guess he has 4, technically.
I think Hurricane committed to that. Yeah, he commits to the Shade, and the tanks drop out, but they're not doing much. And all of a sudden, Hurricane evens this up.
Well, he defends his third base for a little while, but the problem is that now the rest of the army is coming across the map. He does have more Colossi.
Yeah, he has 2 already.
I think Gumiho has to be very tactical on how he engages.
Oh, boy.
This is not tactical enough.
His siege tanks are not protecting the units that are moving forward. And every single time they engage, every time they butt heads, Hurricane gets the better of the trades. Now he's got these units that Gumiho can't essentially deal with, and he has to back off.
He's going to go for a Doom Drop. He checks that there's no observer watching him, and he's going to go for it. And Hurricane doesn't realize this. He sends his Mothership Core home just in case there's like 1 drop coming in, but this is a Doom Drop. This is going to have 2 siege tanks. If he gets on top of the ramp, it's excellent.
I think he knows now.
Oh, he waited too long.
He goes out there and he sends out a scout. And no, he's still not sure whether or not Gumiho went home or if he's coming in. But
he's like,
now,
you would have been there by now,
yeah.
right? He's seeing reinforcements coming across with his second observer here, but he's like, where's that army? It has to be a drop, right? Oh, this is a terrible position for Hurricane. He's so far away from home now. If he actually commits to a drop, this could be deadly. But Gumiho's not committing. Okay, now he's going in. He scans.
Back at home, but he could drop in here. Stalker's trying to get in, but there's so many units here for the Terran.
Oh, man, and Hurricane's turning around. He's not going to commit. This is going to do big damage.
Disruptor
comes out but dies immediately. Decent splitting from Gumiho. Now we're going to go ahead and take out this +2. Denied. And I'm going to go for the Robo as well, because that's all the AoE damage that Hurricane has right now. A few Widow Mines here. The tank's not protected. And that was a huge win for Gumiho.
Yeah, it definitely was. Takes out a lot of big tech structures. Gets the +2 that was about to finish as well. And he just backs off. He doesn't lose much for it. Looks like he's also spotted the 4th base that Hurricane is trying to go for here, and he's got a nice follow-up with a lot of Liberators for the next attack.
Look at Hurricane. He wanted to continue making Colossi until that 4th base is up, but he lost his Robo, so all of the money he's spending right now is like, okay, I'm getting 2 Robos, a Fleet Beacon, and a Stargate because I have so much money I can't spend because I don't want to make more Gateway units. And Gumiho is just building a faster maxed-out army. He's getting advanced ballistics. And he's going to get ready for another attack at the 4th base pretty soon, I'd wager.
Hurricane sees the army with his observer, and he's like, no, I can fight that. But
no way.
There's no way.
No way. He just wants to make it look like he's going to all in so he can hold on and build up enough time to get that tech he just committed to. Now 2 Forges, Fleet Beacon, double Stargate, Tempest. He's like doing everything while he takes that 4th base, trying to make Gumiho think that he's not and that he's going to attack.
Yeah. And that attack you were talking about, just the pressure to fake Gumiho into thinking it was an all-in, worked for about 10 seconds. But Gumiho's also going for his own drop, and he's moving out in the middle of the map at the same time. So he's going to draw these units to the left side to this 4th base and look to attack the 3rd or maybe even drop.
Killed a cannon, 4 probes, and an adept for 1 Marine. Gets away with everything.
Gumiho doesn't find that timing with his army in the middle of the map, so...
Let's see how Disruptors work out in this case, because he's going to have Tempest to fire at long range. Oh, he's going to have Tempest to fire at long range.
Poor observer.
And with the... It's, the Tempest and the Disruptors don't have much synergy because Disruptors have to be really far out in front to actually do their damage. I guess the Tempest can kind of poke. It's interesting, because if you have Colossi and Tempest, it really forces the Terran to attack into it, and if they are slow about it, then the Tempest get pot shots. It's going to be really interesting. Don't forget Advanced Ballistics is done, and he's going 3 at a time on his production for these.
Look at where Hurricane's army is. Look at where Gumiho's drop is coming in. There are a bunch of Stalkers here, but with the Advanced Ballistics, he can push back the Stalkers.
Look at this already. Oh my god, so many Stalkers will die in this exchange, and that army is going to take a long time to get home. Huge drop here in the main. There is a Disruptor. He might just have to lift, and yes, he does. He kills like 1 of his own probes with that. Mothership Core going to die as well. And this is looking pretty nasty.
Look at the fleet of Liberators back there to support that army, too. Same time, Drop comes into the 4th base, and he can easily trade against this. Even going to get the Nexus.
Yep, and going to kill a few more Stalkers. The second the Colossi arrive, he backs out and slowly de-sieges his Liberators. So many probes dying over here.
Kills most of that mineral line, and now a warp in from Hurricane, but just units dying, and Gumiho can lose this. He doesn't really care. He already has a 4th base up and running. He's got a nice Widow Mine trap here, too, to try to catch the army as it moves.
This is looking gross, man. 2-2 about to finish.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God. Oh, he scans. He's looking for the Observer, but there isn't one. Okay, this could have been... This literally couldn't have been better for Hurricane. Yeah. So lucky. So lucky. But I think his time has ended in this game regardless.
Yeah.
See you later, Colossi. It's a lot of anti-air on those Liberators.
Big disruptor shots. It just doesn't really matter. He's gotten too far behind. Gumiho has gotten too far ahead.
It's like Tempest shots on the right side. He's like, what? Where do those even come from? Why are you?
Where did those even come from?
I'm not sure. I think they were rallied that way, maybe. I don't really have an answer for you, but this game is as good as over. Disruptor shot here. Going to be decent, but not good enough.
Now you can just siege up all these Liberators right on top of the entire army. And Hurricane sitting at about 70 supply is going to have to GG out. That is his only way to end the nightmare that is this game.
There you go. Fleet Beacon going to go down. Nothing on the production tab. Trying to come to terms with this. He looks really frustrated, but realistically, he just didn't have GG. He didn't have observers in place where the drops were coming in. The drops that Gumiho did tore him apart. Remember the time? How many times did we see his army be in the absolute opposite location from where it should have been because he didn't have vision of where Gumiho's army was? He was guessing, and a few times he guessed wrong.
Yeah, and generally, we do see some of the